regular kick pillow, crinkle kick pillow, and get your Catstone kick pillow. Hey, I'm the cat toy lady. Through this channel, I'm going to teach you the tips and tricks to making fun and very inexpensive cat toys. And the best part is, I will be using things from around the house, the dollar store, and things at the craft store. In this video, we're going to go over how to do 3 super easy kickers. The base of the kicker is going to be headbands. The dollar store headbands. So for this one, 50 cents a piece. I mean, that is not bad. For the inside of the kickers, we're going to do 3 different styles. One with just stuffing, one with crinkle and stuffing, and one with just catnip. Just so you know, catnip only works on mature cats. So kittens, it will not work on. They may have fun with the toy, but they're not going to get the good effects of it. So I have 2 different sizes of headbands here. I have small and I have the large. I'm going to use the small so I can do catnip and only catnip. That way it's like the good stuff. We got to take them out of the package to start with. Quick, simple snip, snip. The stretchy part is what we're going to cut off. And then you're going to use the rest of it as your kicker. We're going to cut off where the elastic starts. So go just above that and snip it off. You're going to do both sides. And this part, just throw it. So now you already have your tube ready to stuff. What I'm going to do first is just turn it inside out and sew up one end. Turning it inside out makes it nice and pretty. You don't have to, it's up to you. Keeps a little jagged edge covered up. You can pull out a sewing machine for this, but for me, I'm fine with a quick hand stitch. So nice quick stitch across the end. It doesn't have to be pretty. Now turn it right side out. We got it. Stuffing. You can buy any different type. My favorite brand is the Polyfill just because I know it is non-toxic and it's just easy to stuff in. I'm using my fingers. If you want to get all fancy, you can use a little stick. Polyfill in the big containers does come with a stick. And what's neat about this material that the headbands are made out of, just give it a fluff, a fling, and all your stuffing goes to the bottom. Want it nice and packed down so it's super duper animal-like when they bite into it. To do the ends, you're going to flip in the top of it. That way the raw edge isn't showing. So you're going to flip in the raw edge and then sew it shut. I'm doing a hidden seam in it. That way you'll only see it when you look down right on the edge. And the easiest way I found is to use my fingers to keep it clamped shut as I'm going along the edge. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's made for your cat to try to kill. All right, there we go. And now you have a good little kick toy for your cat. On to the next one. For the second toy, we're going to use another one of the large. Take it out of its packaging, and we're going to prep it the same way. You're going to snip off the elastic part and then turn it inside out. We're going to take the CeeLo wrap. It's the stuff that you can heat up and it shrinks to packaging. Again, at the dollar store. And you're going to cut a piece off that is going to be big enough to wrap on both sides. It can be a little big. It can have a little wiggle room. So I'm going to trim it going across, and then I'm going to cut it straight down. Okay, can you see my sheet? So I'm going to take the inside out headband. You're going to close the end of this just like you did the previous one. Any pattern you want, just anything that keeps it shut and all the stuffing in. Now turn it right side out again. Take your cellophane, and I folded it in half, and then you can fold it in half again. And as many times as you need to make it nice and stiff, where you can feed it all the way down. Anything sticking out the top, you can slightly drop down and snip it off. So now that you've folded the inside of the cellophane, you can actually get a pocket in it where it's fully enclosed, and you can use that to stuff the stuffing in. So I'm going to go in that crevice. That way it's like a tube of the cellophane and it's all the way around. Make sure as you're stuffing to hold on to the cellophane. That way it doesn't slide down. The stick would be really nice at this point. So you're going to close it just the same as the other one. I'm going to tuck in the crinkle paper. That way I don't have to try to sew through it. And then I'll fold the lips of this in, the edges, and go ahead and give it a nice close. And since this one's black and white, I'm just gonna do a stitch that shows. I don't think it matters too much. It won't ruin the effect of it. Okay, you can hear this one has a really good crinkle to it, and it's nice and meaty and firm for the cats to be able to bite into. So kick pillow number 2 is done. On to the last. Kick pillow number 3 that we're making. We are going to use these small, about 1 inch wide headbands. So I'm going to use the solid color one, and similar to what we did on the previous ones, instead of cutting a big piece of elastic off, we're just going to cut on either side of the seam. So you're going to cut right down on each side. And this one is a no-sew kicker. This material isn't going to unravel, so I'm going to tie a knot in the end of it. I think that would be cute. It's going to kind of look like a sausage when it's done. So next, you're going to kind of gather it all up on your fingers. That's the easiest way to get started to me. So you want to kind of stretch it out. That way it's going to be easier to pack. I'm using a paper cup to be able to pour. That way I can pinch and still have that spot for it to be able to come out. It hopefully won't be quite as messy as trying to use a funnel and it getting clogged. And yes, the catnip came from the dollar store. Take the tube. I'm going to give it just one more good stretch. And then I'm going to start pouring the catnip in. I'm packing it down and letting it slowly undo itself as I'm doing this. Give it a little jiggle just to get some of the catnip to go down. Okay, now I'm going to start manipulating it some with my fingers and just making sure it's going all the way down. And I'll stretch it back out at the opening so I can get more in. And it's a bit messy, but your cats are going to love you for it. I'm going to make sure it's nice and firmly packed. You don't want it to be all lumpy, but at the same time you want the cat to be really able to kick on it and bite into it. Just keep packing and keep filling. You can pick and choose what you want, how full and firm you want it to be. I'm only using one of the bags, and I'm just kind of rolling it around to make sure I have all the lumps out, and that way I can also get room to be able to tie a knot like you would a balloon. And you can definitely do this with one of the bigger headbands. I wanted them to really be able to get nothing but catnip, and I was being a little thrifty, so I went for the skinny version, but you could do one of these full of catnip too. All right, so number 3 is done. This is full of catnip. If you could be in this room right now, it is so strong. Regular kick pillow, crinkle kick pillow, and get your cat stone kick pillow. Hope your cats enjoy. Let's go see if mine do. So the kickers were a big hit. The catnip kicker I gave to my 14-year-old kitty. She loved it. She's a big fan of catnip. And Cindy Pawford loved the crinkle pillow the most. She really loved the way it crinkled and she went nuts with it. Bet you didn't know you can make a kicker out of a headband. Now go make some toys for your cat.